All right, 10.3, last section of Unit 10. Now we're going to talk about the formulas for area of triangles, knowing that not all triangles are right triangles, but these same type of triangles that we've been using, law of sines and law of cosines, we now can find the area. Okay, the basic formula for area of a triangle is, let's see, maybe we'll do this in a different color today. The area, A, okay, area, is equal to 1/2 times the base times the height. Okay, we know that's how you find the area of a triangle. Okay, area of a triangle. Now, looking at the triangle on the left here where it says area of triangles, this angle C here, the sine of that would be opposite over hypotenuse. So the sine of C would be what? H over A. And we're going to use that. So H, if we cross multiply, so if you have sine of C equals H over A, and you cross multiply and solve for H, H would equal A times the sine of C. So H is equal to A times the sine of C. You can write it like that, however you want. Okay, so if we substitute that into the area formula for H, we're going to have the area, and don't confuse the A with, like angle A. This is the area, equals 1/2 times the base times the height, which is now A sine C. Okay, if you want to write it a little simpler, you could say the area equals 1/2 AB times the sine of C. Okay. So this is what we're going to use when finding the area of triangles. Now we may need to use law of sines here in a little bit to find a side or something, or law of cosines or something. We may need to use some of that to find a piece of this information from the formula that we might need. But let's just go with this for a minute. So notice how A is area, but the side A and B, okay, the angle is the different, is different than these other two. So it doesn't always have to be A, B, and C, but you can label it that way so it works for you. So if I label that one C because that's the angle, then the other two are just A and B, and it's not going to matter as far as angles. So this is side B, and this is side A. All right, so if you want to just use that regular formula with sine of C, then just make sure the angle that you have, if you label it C, or if you can fit it in the way that it needs to go. So whatever angle you have, these are the other two sides. Okay, and this capital A means area. So the area equals 1/2 side A, which is 12, times side B, which is 15, times the sine of that angle, 110. So then I break out the calculator, and I make sure I'm in degree mode. I do the sine of 110 times 15 times 12, and I could say divided by 2, or I could just say times 0.5 because it's 1/2, and I get the area is equal to, I get 84.6 centimeters, and since it's area, it's centimeters squared. Okay, I write out area just so not to be confused with an angle. All right, let's go with example 2. What do I have? 25 degrees, so maybe I'll just say that's C, and then label the other two A and B. So the area formula, area equals 1/2 side A, which is 24, side B, which is 23.5, times the sine of the angle 25 degrees. So the area is going to equal, after I calculate this out, the sine of 25 times 23.5 times 24, enter, divided by 2, or you could have times it by 0.5, and I get 119 point, 2? And this is inches squared, because it's area. Okay, what do we have here? We have example 3. We have, well, pick an angle. Maybe I'll use, let's see. I'm going to have to use 17 and 14. So I cannot use the 24 and the 31 because those angles match up. I have to use the angle that doesn't match up with those sides. So I got to find this angle right here. That's going to have to be C. So I can do that by taking 180 minus 24 minus 31. And I should get that to be 125 degrees. Okay? There, hopefully you see why I had to find that angle. Because back to the formula, the angle, okay, the angle is the angle, sorry, the two sides have to be different than the angle. Like you can't have the same side and same angle in that area formula. Notice it's 1/2 AB sine C. So the angle and the two other different sides. So I have to use this angle 125. So the area, let's write it out. So the area is 1/2 times A, which is 14, times B, which is, B goes to 17, times the sine of C, which is 125. So now the area, after I calculate that out, sine of 125 times 17 times 14, and I'm going to go times 0.5, which is 1/2, 97.5. So we get 97.5, and this is meters squared because we are in area. Okay. Now, what information do we need? So let's make this the angle that we have in our formula C, and so we'll call this A and this B. All right, do we have everything we need? Do we have this other side? No, we need this other side over here. We need this side because the angle C in the formula requires then we would need side A and side B. So we need to find this side A, I guess is what it would be, the side A. But we can find that because we have this angle over here. And so we can use that angle in the law of sines. So we could say, okay, the sine of 28 over side A, which is the one we're looking for, is going to equal, and we can find this angle B right here, 180 minus 114 minus 28. I need angle B because I have side B. And so what's 180 minus 114 minus 28? Is that 38? 38 degrees? So 38 degrees. Okay. So that's how I'll set it up. The sine of 38 over 20. So let's back up. I'm looking for this side over here, BC. Okay, the one that I've circled here. To do that, I have to use law of sines. And to use law of sines, I needed this other angle over here, which I found by subtracting them from 180. Now I just set up my ratio. I couldn't use the 114 in the law of sines because I didn't have that other side AB. So I had to use this angle because I had the side 20. So I have to note what I have. I had to use 20, so I had to find the angle 38 degrees. And I have the angle A here, 28 degrees, and I need to find this side. So we cross multiply. A times sine of 38. If you remember way back when to the first unit there, 20 times the sine of 28. We divide by the sine of 38. So those reduce. So A is going to equal 20 times the sine of 28, and that is divided by sine of 38. So I think that comes out to be 15.3. So I'm going to write that over here, 15.3. Okay. So now I can use the area formula. So the area is going to equal 1/2 times one of the sides, 15.3, times the other side, 20, times the sine of the angle that was not associated with those two sides, 114. Now I put that in the calculator, so now the area is equal to sine of 114 times 20 times 15.3 times 0.5. That is 139.8. So 139.8. And what is our unit of measurement? Inches. So square inches. All right. Let's go to the next one. Now we have no angles. So no angles, law of cosines. So let's, we'll just label this A, B, and C. Okay. So let's see, we got to find angle C, right? Because that's what we use in our formula. So to find that, I'm going to use cosine. So that's going to be what? C squared equals A squared plus B squared minus 2 times A, B, cosine C. Plug in the info. C is 21. A is 23. B is 15. Minus, and then we have 2 times A times B times the cosine of C. All right, so we're going to be finding the angle. So this is where we're going to end up using the inverse. So let's get our numbers. 21 squared, that's 441. 23 squared, that's 529. 15 squared, 225 minus 2 times 23 times 15. So 2 times 23 times 15. That is 690 times the cosine of C. All right, so we want that 690 cosine of C by itself. So we're going to subtract the 529 and subtract the 225. So subtract the 529, subtract the 225. What do we have here? On the left side, we have 441 minus 529 minus 225, and that is negative 313. And that's going to equal negative 690 times the cosine of C. We divide by the negative 690, if you remember this. So now that's going to be a positive, so I have cosine of C equals 313 over 690. And to find the angle, we do the inverse of that fraction. That's going to equal angle C. So I need this angle so that I can do the area formula. So let's see. Second cosine, 313 divided by 690. Enter. That's 63.0 something something. We'll just say it's 63 degrees. That's really close to 63 degrees. So I'm going to write it in on the figure, 63 degrees. So now we're going to kind of make an area to do the area formula. The area is going to equal 1/2 times side A times side B, which is 15. So the two sides, not the side that goes with the angle. And sine of, what is it, 63? Okay, punch it in. Sine of 63 times 15 times 23 times 0.5. Enter. I get 153, so the area is 153.7, we'll say. And what unit of measurement are we in? Millimeters? Square millimeters. Beautiful. All right, so you're doing the same on these questions here. Find the area, so take the area formula, make sure, label the angle that you have, C, it'll make it easier in your formula. A and B, doesn't matter. You may have to find another angle to complete or use law of sines and cosines then law of sines and cosines to find the remaining. There's only 6 questions there on that assignment, so all right, have a good time.